Good morning, everybody. Ava was, let's see if I can get some more sun. Oh, it's better that way. Ava was waking me up. She needed to go use the bathroom, so here we are out here watching the sunrise. It's a little dark on this side, so I have to carry it the other way. So I figured while we were out here, I would go over some stuff. Mainly the 5 things that really irk me or irritate me from other either full-time RV'ers or just RVs in general. So these are in no particular order as we go. Number 1, Class A and Class B drivers who have a towed or tow behind vehicle. Oh, this one really irks me. It's happened twice in the last, I would say, 2 months, where without any regard, sorry if it's jerking me all over the place, but without any regard for any other campers, they will take their time to disconnect their towed vehicle, and it's usually on, and it's happened twice now, on a loop that only has one way in and one way out. So everybody that's coming in is stopped waiting for them to disconnect their towed, and then some have the audacity, after making you wait to disconnect, they'll make you wait for them to back their rig, and they'll leave their towed in the middle of the road. So come on, Ava, get out of that. So not only do you have to sit there and wait, which, I mean, it's a minor inconvenience when you think about it in the big scheme of things, sorry Ava, but at the same time it's kind of irritating because it's like they don't care about anybody else trying to check in. So that's one that's happened to us twice here lately. Second one, people who want to set up their campsites, because at this spot we're at right now, we're at a Corps of Engineers spot. So we do deal with just, you have your regular RVs, you know, all different types, but then you still have some primitive camping or tent camping that is allowed here as well in these spots. So the other night, a couple nights ago, we had some, I would say they were a younger crowd, which doesn't really bother me, but just blasting their music. Now granted, it wasn't quiet hours or anything like that, but just come in and blasting their music while they're setting up camp. They only stayed one night, so it was no big deal, but I just found that it was a little rude not thinking about it. We had all the windows closed. It was about 7 o'clock at night, and their music, it wasn't so much the music itself, it was just the bass. The bass was really loud, and honestly, we had been out all day and we were just listening to music or watching TV, and that's all we could do was listen to their music. I never thought I'd be that old guy, but here I am being that old guy. Man, the sunrise, I don't know if you can get it. It looks really good. Number three, oh, I'm gonna say these guys right here, if you're going to be in a campground, make sure you keep your dog on a leash or your pets on leashes. There are some stray cats around here that just do whatever. They get into people's trash. And although it's not the bigger dogs, most big dogs I've always seen they're on their leash. It's not so much them. It is the little dogs, the little ankle biters. And they seem to be the more aggressive. If you have to pick your dog up to calm it down, chances are it probably needs to be on a leash, especially if there's already leash rules at the campground. Most Corps of Engineers, which is where we're at right now, they do have leash laws. And although when we checked in, this is our second time at this one, they did say, you know, make sure your leashes or your pet is on a leash at all times. They didn't say that the first time, so, but, and what also comes along with that, I'm gonna say this is a bonus tip. Pick up the poo. A lot of people will take them, even though you're out here on a beach and it's in the winter time, they won't pick up their dog's crap. It's just nasty. Especially, we don't know if your animal's got any kind of parasite or something, and then you can possibly infect other people's animals. Hopefully you have everything vaccinated, or your pets are vaccinated, but if they're not, you know, that's something that somebody else will have to deal with down the road because of somebody else's negligence. So just pick up your dog's excrement. Number 4, and sometimes you can't help this one, so I threw it in there because sometimes you just can't help it, and that will be arriving at your campsite late. There's many factors that can lead into it, and we've dealt with that before, so I'm kind of forgiving in this one. I know there's a lot of people that are not, but nothing's worse when you're settling down to go to sleep and all of a sudden you start hearing people throw down their jacks and because they got there late. Now granted, it could be poor planning on their part, but also could be, you know, as we all know, full-time RVing, there's always something that happens, and it usually does happen on travel days, so they could have had issues. But I remember this, it was a private campground. We were in Arkansas. It was Memorial Week in 2020. And first of all, everybody's just coming out of COVID a little bit. There in Arkansas, they had started opening up private campgrounds. So everybody was anxious to get to the campground. I can guarantee that. But at like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, you hear a guy out there with his impact wrench to put his stabilizers down. And it was loud. Everybody, you could hear people screaming from their campsites, like, shut up. It was funny, but it wasn't funny when you first woke up, or when it first wakes you up, especially when you're dead asleep and it's like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. My fifth and final one that really, really irks me is walking through people's campsites. This one that we're at right now, I don't know if you can see the reflections over there with the white truck in front of it. That's ours. I don't know if you can see it or not. But we have a little walking path that brings us down to the beach, and it's right behind our campsite. Luck of the draw. But for some reason, people think that that's their own personal little, I mean, it's man-made. It was nothing that was, you know, put here by the Corps of Engineers. But people see that and they think that's a go ahead. Let's just walk to these people's campsite to go to the back side of it. That's just rude. And it's happened several times before at another Corps of Engineers in Illinois. We was at a campground there. I don't know you. I don't know why you're there. I don't know if you're, you know, a patron. So, and being loud. So, I mean, it's just common courtesy not to walk through someone's campground or their campsite at the campground. So there you go. Those are my 5 biggest pet peeves of full-time RVing. Now, I say these stuff because it is kind of irritating, because after you're on the road for a little bit, that's usually what happens. But I still love this lifestyle. I love what it brings, the freedom that it allows you. So, I mean, that's not enough for me to be detoured from doing this. So hopefully that didn't scare anybody that's even thinking about it, but it's just some of the stuff that you got to consider when you go into this full-time RV life. But you also get this. You also get 70-degree weather in the winter because your house is mobile. And it has issues. It will have issues. Matter of fact, we got to get some warranty work done on our brand new rig already. It's part of it. But we'll be doing that over in New Mexico as we go through. Man, the sunrise is beautiful. Well, I guess that's going to wrap it up for Kevin's 5 pet peeves. So hopefully I'll see you out there on the road. I'm gonna go back and get some coffee. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Be kind to one another, and no matter what direction life has you traveling, be safe, be kind. We'll see y'all next week. Goodbye.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights.